of diamonds, all things diamond painting. Square around, I'm glad you are around. Grab your plate, grab your wax, get ready to sit back and relax. Don't see you're single, whatever your niche. Here is your host, a guy named Rich.
Well, hello. Welcome to Sunday Funday with Speaking of Diamonds. My name is Rich, the guy in the, I'm a little biased, but the diamond painting channel with the best theme song ever. How is everybody today? Looks like we're a couple numbers are still going up, so some folks are still coming in. So I'm going to wait a couple minutes to do a full introduction. But welcome in, everybody. It looks like Lee has set the snack table up, so please feel free to make yourself available to that, or that available to you. Hi, let's see. This chat is us scrolling. This is my first live, so be nice. I love the song. I know, Melanie. I start to sing it every once in a while, and it's a little disturbing. But hello, Ditzy, J. Lily, Tracy, Crafting with V, Michelle Morris. Hello, Artemis. Greetings from. I don't think you're still in Texas. I think you're back home. So greetings from across the pond. Crafty Carrie, hello. Tracy Cruz, Amy Gray, Chocolate Diamonds, hello. Welcome. Stacy Intersagen, hello. Eve, lovely Eve. I'm sure Kathy is there with you. Please yell into her respirator that I say hi so that she can hear me. Hey, Carol. So I'll go ahead and we'll get started. A little bit about why I'm suddenly live and why it's seemingly maybe that I look like I'm stepping over another creator's time. But Shay had posted on her community page that she's enjoying being Shay, and she's enjoying taking a break from crafting with Shay. She's still going to do individual videos, unboxings and stuff on her channel, but she asked me if I wanted her time slot. And it's not that I couldn't come up with my own time slot, but the one thing that I always looked forward to with a 4 o'clock live on a Sunday is it's usually a day that I spend at home, maybe get something in the crock pot, maybe get something done. I got the washing machine going, doing a load of laundry, but also it helps me with the Sunday scaries. And if you don't know what the Sunday scaries are, it's about that time on Sunday when you realize that, I have to go to work tomorrow. And even though I work from home, it's still going to work. So I thought, why not? If I enjoy the little distraction, if you will, on a Sunday, maybe others would, and maybe some folks from that would previously join Shay would come on over and join me here. So this was a quick decision. I think I talked to Shay on Friday, and she was like, "Do you want it?" So here we are. Now, in full tribute, it's not red wine, but it's a dark and stormy, which probably fits my personality a little bit better. But cheers to everyone here. And cheers to Shay to enjoy her break, and best of luck with her decompression. If you're not aware of what a dark and stormy is, dark Bermudan rum, or rum from Bermuda, and ginger beer, and a healthy squeeze of lime. So it's very well. Hello, Shay. Lady Queen Shay, I toast you. Thank you. I did say in the description that Shay may may stop by, she is more than welcome to pop on. Shay, if you ever want to come on the channel, let me know. At least it's not snowing anymore. That is true. I'm outside of Chicago. We had a couple inches of snow, not too much, but just enough for my dog to enjoy it and me to hate it. But it is 31 degrees outside right now, and it's not supposed to get above 20 for the first part of this week. So other than my physical therapy appointment on Tuesday, I'm not leaving the house. I'm here for good. So hello, everyone. We got more folks coming in. Gabrielle. Hi, Gabrielle. Telling Shay to take her break. Absolutely. She needs to do what is best for her. We all should be doing what's best for all of us. Cindy's here. Hello, Cindy. How are you? Diamond Doxies. Grams. Hello. Kupakai. Jenny. How are you? Let's see. Lee is saying to the howdy to Shay, as he normally would. Carol, she's in Illinois here, and you had 12 inches last week and 4 this week. What? I think I remember that you were in Illinois, but what part of Illinois? I know, I think, I don't know. I forgot where they said it was getting a lot of snow. I know that for work, my team is, a lot of my team is up in Milwaukee, and they were getting nice amounts of snow up there. And then the other half of my team is in Florida and South Carolina, and we just don't talk about them. So Central Illinois, Effingham. Okay. Yeah. When the weather reports here in Chicago talk about snow coming in, there's an expressway, I-80, south of here. And it's usually, they say, it's probably not going to go above I-80. It'll stay below I-80. So then we know that Cindy's going to get hit. But, never, thanks, Eve. Never can trust those weather forecasters 100%. Eve says, Shay, now you can be a wise ass with the rest of us in chat. Thanks, Eve. Love you too. It wouldn't be alive without the smart ass comments in the chat. Although usually I'm the one poking that bear, so here I am, and I'm not going to do that. So hope everyone's doing well. I know it's the weather's crazy across everywhere a little bit. I know I was talking to Tammy earlier down in Kentucky. It's cold. Shay was doing her Patreon video for the week, and she said it was like 30, 38 or something, which I would be in shorts and a hoodie. But I know that that's cold for Texas. Absolutely. Wonder Lake. Jenny says, my mom is in Wonder Lake. I don't think so. I think that's up by Lake Zurich and things like that. And I used to, when I worked for a community bank, we would go up there and had to visit trainees and stuff up there. Very interesting area. Illinois is very interesting if you've never been here. I always amazed at the folks who live, like when I watch, well, primarily Shay is the only one that I watch who's in Texas, primarily is the one I watch. And I love when she's like driving for hours just to get to another part of the state. I drive 45 minutes in east or north, and I'm in a different state. The only time, I'm going for hours would be west or south, and south I'm still in Illinois. And other than Carroll, there's not a lot going on in the southern Illinois. But I always find that very, very interesting that Texas is so dang big. Like I said, it's sort of a hop, skip, and a jump to another state here. So Wonder Lake, if that is up by Lake Zurich, which is where I think it is, the interesting thing is once you start driving, I don't know, maybe about 45 minutes, all of a sudden you're in like lake country. You see a lot of RVs pulling boats. You see a lot of marine stores. I used to actually travel up to Antioch, I think it was, and do physical inventory for. There was a boat dealer up there, and the bank that I worked for held the paper on all the boats. So essentially, they would get their stock in, right, and they wouldn't pay for the stock. They would have a loan on the stock, and we would have the paper. Well, we would always go and count those boats once a month, every month, and there were days that I was up to my butt in snow. Crawling around looking for model numbers and serial numbers of boats. But so it's sort of interesting. You go that way, you get boat land. You go out west, within a half hour, you're in farmland. If you go south, it's pretty well built up for a while. It gets really industrial around like shipping canals and stuff like that. But so it's sort of interesting. Eve points out that you drive a little bit out by her and you're in like 5 different states. And I think that's really cool. 20 minutes, you can go through 5 towns, 2 cities, and probably other states. I always think of I Love Lucy. I'm a big I Love Lucy fan. It's what I have on a lot when I'm diamond painting and I just want something in the background. And the fact that people live in Connecticut, but yet work in New York is always so interesting. Let's see, Jay Lee, did I grow up in that era? I did, actually. I was raised in the house that I have now. I inherited the house when my dad passed away. So I've lived here all of my life, over 50 years. It's interesting to see things change. The way things change, obviously, in the town and the surrounding suburbs. I used to, like I said, I used to travel around a lot for work around the suburbs, and I worked for community banks. And another bank that I worked for, we would go to different branches and do audits and count the cash and whatnot. And I used to know, especially if you've ever heard of Aurora, Montgomery, Oswego, they're sort of southwest of me. I used to know, take this street and turn at the Big Red Barn, and then go until you get to the dilapidated farmhouse and take a left. And all of a sudden it's, shopping center, bank, there we go. The last time I went out there, I'm like, where the heck am I? Like, there's no more barns. There's no more dilapidated farmhouses. So yeah, it's not even. Artemis says 20 minutes wouldn't even get you a fourth of the way into a large Texas city. It's just so interesting to think about how large and how the different states are, quite honestly, but how large Texas is. I can't believe it. I Love Lucy's one of my fave. Hi, Angel, Pinky Wave with my I'll do the whole official. That's my Carol Burnett signal to Angel. Remember when Carol Burnett used to tug at her ear for her grandmother? Tammy, my mom drives by buildings, not maps. Absolutely. That's what I used to do. And now, of course, thank goodness for GPS, or else I'd get really confused sometimes. Angel, how are you feeling? Asked Tracy. If you're not well, hope you're doing okay. Yeah, by Tammy, turn right at the big rock that looks like a bear, turn left at the big bear that looks like a rock. Yeah, that's probably it. What I was sending Tammy something one time, and I put the address into the shipping software to print the label, and there was a surcharge because she's so far out in the middle of nowhere. It was like a rural charge or something. I've never seen that before. However, I can send something to Berta in Alaska, and it gets there first and sooner than anybody. And, you know, Alaska is just one big island, according to some people. But yeah. So hello. Let's see. More folks are coming in here. Tracy Cruz is here. I'm in the boondocks. Yes, you are, Tammy. You are in the boondocks. And I've often asked about all the tales of the Appalachian creatures and stuff like that that supposedly roam the area at night. Val says, I Love Lucy is one of my faves. It is just my comfort show. It's just a huge comfort show. I read something one time that said that people with anxiety enjoy watching shows or movies, the same movies over and over and over again, because you know what's going to happen. You're not going to be surprised. You don't have to be anxious about, are they going to get killed or they're not going to get killed? You know what happens. And I never really thought about that till I read this article. I thought that's exactly what I do, is that I can put on some of these movies or shows and stuff like that. And it's like having that comfort food. It's just the comfort show, and it's great. Tammy has some fighting words here. Tammy's saying, at least I know Hawaii isn't a country, right, Mel? Yeah, that was 2 times Melanie has said something that's sort of like, what are you saying? And that was one of them. Sarah asks, what's my favorite episode of I Love Lucy? I'm going to have to say, I mean, you have the classics. You have the Vita Vegemin, of course. That's just hilarious. There's the one that supposedly at one point had the longest recorded laugh in TV, when she has the eggs. They're out in the country. She has the eggs stuffed in her shirt, and she's going to rehearse some dance number with Ricky that they're doing that later that night. And he spins her out and spins her back in and just cracks the eggs all over. And then Ethel had put some in her back pocket, and Fred came through the kitchen door, the swinging door, and cracks all the eggs in her pants. Normally, though, what I do, because there's the channel called Pluto TV, or it's a streaming service, Pluto TV, that's free. It actually has an I Love Lucy channel, and it's I Love Lucy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When I go to tune that in, the game I play is, okay, where are we? Are we in the first apartment? Are we in Europe? Are we in Hollywood? Or are we in like the second apartment? And it's always fun to try and guess what sort of era of I Love Lucy that we're in. Val says she loves the one where she's stomping in the grapes for wine. That is a good one. That is a good one. She's mimicking that lady who's telling her off in Italian, and then they get into the fight. Yeah, that's a good one. I love the Europe ones as well, just because it's them sort of out of their element a little bit. I do love. Okay, you know which one I do like? The one where they're in. Was it Switzerland? Fred sent the band to somewhere, and they went somewhere else, similar names, I think it was. So they went hiking in the mountain, and they get trapped in shed little hut thing under an avalanche. And then Lucy has the sandwich, and Ricky gets the face full of soot when he looks out, and then the Papa band comes, and that Ricky dismissed earlier because they auditioned to be his band since he didn't have a band, and he was like, "Oh, get out of here!" Now they save his life, and he's like, "You guys can play for me. That's absolutely fine." Carol says, "I always love the one with John Wayne and the footprints in the cement." Yes, the flousy dishwater blonde and the flousy redhead. I love that episode. Just the things that they go through with that. Long story short, Lucy and Ethel go, and they take the John Wayne's footsteps from out in front of the Grauman's Chinese Theater. And then, of course, Ricky, makes him put it back, and they drop it. So now they're trying to recreate these John Wayne boots, footprints, and signature in the cement. And I like the Hollywood ones just because I like thinking about learning about the actors and stuff that sort of stop in, like who are they? What are they? What do they do? I'm a fan of older movies, or as Tammy would say, old people things. Is anyone else like old movies? Like I enjoy. Let's see who's on I Love Lucy. There was who was the guy? He was in Sunset Boulevard. The guy in Sunset Boulevard, I forget his name now. He's in the one that they're in the that's a good episode too, where they go to lunch at the Brown Derby, and Bill Holden. Lucy's looking at Bill Holden. The cake gets dumped on Bill Holden. So he's in that. You got the Marx Brothers. You got Danny Kaye, I think, was on one of them. Just amazing to see those the older actors and stuff like that. I enjoy some older movies. My favorite, curious to see how many have heard or seen of this movie, Desk Set, starring Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn, where they're working at a network, and she's like the head librarian for the research department, and Spencer Tracy is the salesman or like consultant that comes in to set up their first computer, an IBM computer, and this sucker takes up an entire room. They're feeding cards of information in it, and of course the research department starts to freak out because we're going to be replaced by a computer. So this was back in, I don't even know what year. Michelle Morris Campbell says that she loves Desk Set. You happen to remember what year that came out? Back then, worried about, we're going to be replaced by computers, and now of course we're going to get replaced by AI. We're always being threatened by those computers. I'm just waiting for it to when we cross into Terminator land, and I want to go live in the middle of the forest and avoid all of that. Carol says she's quite a fan of Dick Van Dyke Show and Andy Griffith. Dick Van Dyke, yes, I do enjoy Dick Van Dyke. That's a good show. Andy Griffith, I watch it, but it's like it doesn't get me. It doesn't hook me in as much. 1957. Thank you, Michelle. Desk Set, 1957. What I love about that movie too is it takes place in the workplace, and seeing a workplace from 1957, they're all like, they've moved in. They have stuff. They have a Christmas party. They're all running around drinking champagne. They're a little loopy on the champagne and stuff like that. So it's really interesting. Plus, you don't really see much of the city, but just the way that they talk about and things that they do in New York, in 1957 New York, is really cool too. So I do really enjoy that movie. Dick Van Dyke, absolutely. I'm trying to think. What I always think about, especially around the holidays, is when they did the Christmas show, and Andy doesn't get you. We can't be friends anymore. Sorry, Tammy. Go whistle your tune somewhere else, I guess. But where they're doing the band, and Mary's doing like the piccolo. That's sort of good. The Plant, yes, Michelle Morris Campbell in Desk Set. Katharine Hepburn has this plant that she puts something in every day, plant food, I guess. It goes up off her desk, up around a door, like around bookshelves and stuff like that. When she takes it down, she's wonders how she's going to get it on the Lexington Avenue bus, because she's going to have to pay a ticket for it, or what have you, because it's its own entity at that point. But yeah, I was really upset. A few years ago, the cable company Comcast here, and maybe it wasn't them, it's probably Turner Classic Movies, but Turner Classic Movies became like a premium channel that you have to pay for. And like, how many channels do I need to pay for? Why do I want to pay for an extra channel? I liked a lot of those movies, but it's like I can catch them somewhere else. Yes, whistle your tune. You said Andy doesn't get you. So you're talking about Andy Griffith. He whistles at the beginning. So I said, go whistle your song somewhere else. So hi, Meowie Diamonds and Cats. Hello. Welcome. I'm explaining to everyone now what I meant by the whistling my tune. There are a couple people going through with questions about that. And so Turner Classic Movies went premium, but there's another movie channel that has older movies sometimes. When Royal Caribbean cruise ships used to have Turner Classic Movies playing in the cabins, and it was amazing because me and my cruise buddy Lisa, we would call each other, hey, I'm going to be late because this movie's on, and she's watching another movie and whatnot. So that was always fun. And of course, Royal Caribbean changed their whole TV thing, and it's not nearly as fun anymore. And I get it. They want you out of your room and doing things and spending money, but people, I want to sit on my balcony and watch the water and listen to the TV. Single and Placing. It doesn't watch hello, Single and Placing. Doesn't watch a lot of older shows, but did rewatch South Pacific and Oklahoma over the holidays. Yes, those. I have a soft spot for the musicals. Definitely, I'm a past theater kid, and I was actually in Oklahoma in high school. Learned to two-step and got to borrow my dad's cowboy boots and whatnot. So I do like those. I talked about Sunset Boulevard earlier. That's one of my favorite movies, older movies as well. And how I got hooked on these older movies, Carol Burnett. Anyone ever watch Carol Burnett? And they would do these send-ups of the different movies and the soap operas and the commercials. Oh my gosh. When I was a kid, I was like, okay, this is funny because people are laughing, but I want to learn more about it. So then, of course, I start looking into, what is this about? So she used to do a Norma Desmond character. Max, I'm ready for my close-up. She was just absolutely crazy. But that's a great movie. And I've always wanted to see the musical, and never had a chance to do that. And of course, there's a lot of drama, if you will. You think the diamond painting community has a lot of drama. Let's talk about the Broadway community. Something like it opened in the West End, and Patti LuPone was in it, and then her and Andrew Lloyd Webber went at it, and all this bad blood and stuff, and she wasn't invited over to the States to do it. So lots of drama there, but they have a revival on Broadway, and stupid me, I got a notification one day, hey, this is coming to Broadway. It was on the West End. Stars Nicole Scherzinger. She's part of some girl group, and she's also on The Masked Singer. Is that it? Yeah. She's one of the judges. She's in it, and it was in the West End, got rave reviews. So it was coming to New York. Well, I bought tickets. Thought, holy crap, I'm going to buy tickets. I was very optimistic and bought 2 tickets, and knew what theater it was at. Got a hotel near it, and then I chickened out because people, and I couldn't find a second person to go. So I sold my tickets, and then since then it has had its official opening. I was going to go on opening night. That's always been like my pipe dream, is to go to a Broadway show on opening night. But I decided to go just a couple weeks later because it worked better with my work schedule. But yeah, I chickened out. And actually now, if I had to do it all over again, even Kathy, I would ask you guys if you wanted to go see a show since you're out there. Kathy, they have a toy carrot named Carol Burnett. That's awesome. I've seen Carol Burnett in person twice here in Chicago. She came through. She was promoting like her 1 or 2 of her books, and that was just an amazing night. Someone I used to work with, a coworker, a bunch of them went in and got me tickets for my birthday, and we went down. It was at the Chicago Theater, and it was just amazing to hear. First of all, it's Carol Burnett. All she did was sit there on stage and tell stories, but it was like the best entertainment ever. And she would show clips, and of course the blooper clips that now you can find on YouTube and stuff like that, that were amazing. And then she would do just like she did on her show. Let's turn up the house lights. Let's take some questions. And she'd take some questions from the audience. Those were just 2 magical evenings that I will cherish forever, because she is a national treasure. I was very, very young when the Carol Burnett show came out. But I watched the reruns probably. And like I said, was so intrigued. I wanted to go look up, what are they talking about with these old movies and whatnot. And have read her books, followed her movies. Of course, the first movie that really got me as a kid was Annie. Her as Miss Hannigan. That was an amazing role. I've seen other people. Talking about old TV shows. I went to see Annie one time. It was a touring company, and Sally Struthers was Miss Hannigan. That was rough. That was a rough show. And yes, the drapes, the drape dress. I saw it hanging in a window. She's got the curtain rod over her shoulders. Of course, Bob Mackie was the costume designer for some fantastic, amazing costumes. I was watching a behind the scenes show one time, and they said that he designed every costume on the show, not just for the primary cast, but for all the dancers. I mean, this used to be, nowadays when you see a rerun, it's like a half hour. It's a cut down version of the show. They used to have the music numbers. They would have guest artists, things like that. He would design these outfits for the entire company, hundreds of outfits every week. And then, of course, he designed costumes and stuff for Cher. And, of course, does everyone know there's a Broadway show about Cher? I went to see it. The cool thing about Chicago is it's usually the pre-Broadway run for a lot of shows. So I got to go see the Cher show. It was clunky, but it was interesting. And Bob Mackie did all the costumes for that. What else was just here? Oh, Death Becomes Her. Death Becomes Her is now a musical. It was here in Chicago for several weeks before it went to Broadway. And that's another one that I would really like to see. I've been to New York twice. The first time I was just sort of passing through to get on a cruise ship out of Bayonne, New Jersey. But my cruise buddy, Lisa, and I were Willy Wonka fans. And the musical Willy Wonka had just come out, so we went to see that at the what theater was that? I forget the name of the theater, but it was right next to the Scientology headquarters, which was a little weird because I thought I was being watched for sure. But something like that. Great show. The second time, and I didn't realize, if you've never been to New York, okay, Melanie, we're going to see Death Becomes Her. Fantastic. I have someone to sit next to me and talk about. When I walked out of the theater after the show, I was talking to my friend. I says, Lisa, she had been there like years and years ago. I'm like, where's like Times Square? Like we're in this huge city. I have no idea where we're at. And I turned to my left and I looked down the block and I go, why is it so bright down there? She goes, that's Times Square. I didn't realize. And I completely geeked out. Tourist, I don't care. I just stood in the middle of Times Square and just looked around, and it was just so amazing. The second time I went there, I went by myself on a little theater tour, and I saw a couple shows. What did I see? I saw Dear Evan Hansen right after what's his name left the role. But I saw that. I saw, what else did I see? Oh, Hello, Dolly with Bernadette Peters. That was right after Bette Midler left the company. Oh, and then I saw Come From Away. Y'all, one other time I've wept in the theater like that. At the end of Miss Saigon, I went to see it at a local dinner theater, and the ending was so tragic. And I'm sitting there like, and the house lights come up, get out of your seat, let's go. And it was very embarrassing. But Come From Away is the story of on 9/11, when 9/11 happened, they had to ground all of the planes. Well, all of the international planes coming over from Europe that were too far to turn around and go back, they had to put them somewhere. And the U.S. airspace was closed. So they landed, I forget how many planes, but like at least it was in double digits. And I'm thinking maybe 60 or 70-ish. They landed all these planes in Gander, Newfoundland, this little small town. And it's the story of how this little small town, the people rallied to take care of all these passengers who were at first quarantined on the plane for hours. Then they finally let them off, and they put them up in the gymnasiums of the schools. They put them up in any available hotel, in the Elks halls and everything like that. It's this, I mean, first of all, it's 9/11. So it's you have that emotion, but then you have the outpouring of just humanity for people to this melting pot of people, because there's people from all over the world on these planes. And these are real. This is a real story based on real people. There's a book, and that is a quick show. I think it was 90 minutes, no intermission, but oh my gosh, that was, and the music is amazing. I'll move on. Palm Royale. Chocolate Diamond says, has anyone watched Palm Royale? Carol Burnett is in that. I have not, although, is that a recent show? Because I know she's in a relatively recent show that I think I saw her talking about on some talk show or something like that. But I'll have to let that up or look that up. She is in, oh my gosh, I have to look this up. It was a really bad I think I guess it was considered a miniseries. Grape, let's see, Grape movie. See if this comes up. No, that's not it. I'll have to look it up. Oh no, there it is. It's called Fresno. there's this mini series from 1986 called Fresno, and it's not great, but it's not bad. You can only find it. I think I had to watch it on YouTube, so you can go look up Fresno. But the cast. Well, first of all, it was supposed to be it was a parody of primetime soap operas. So if you ever heard or watched or heard your mom talking about Dynasty, Falcon Crest, what was the other one? Knots Landing, all of those shows. This is that, but a parody of it. And they owned a grape vineyard, and they invented some special type of grape that it had fiber in it. The grape had fiber in it. So instead of putting grapes in your grape nuts, you just ate the grape because you got the fiber and the grape. But the cast, some of the folks in this cast, Dabney Coleman, Gregory Harrison, Terry Garr, Charles Grodin, Bill Paxton, Jerry Van Dyke, just Jeffrey Jones, just like these names of people that I remember seeing in all these different movies when I grew up. And it's a fun watch. If you have nothing else to watch, I believe it's on YouTube. It's like maybe 7 or 8 episodes called Fresno, as in Fresno, California. So definitely check that out. Melanie says she saw Spam-A-Lot with David Hyde Pierce. Laughed until I cried. Oh my gosh. I almost needed to be resuscitated when I saw that. It wasn't David Hyde Pierce. I don't think it was David Hyde Pierce, but I saw it here. I forgot what theater downtown. And all I remember is we had like a box seat off to the side. So it was just 2 rows. And I was in the second of this little box. I almost had to be resuscitated. That show is ridiculous. And the thing that I had very low hopes going into it, because I never got the British humor, the Monty Python and stuff like that. But whatever they did to that show was amazing. I remember there was one time this guy, they had the top of a castle, supposedly. You know how the castle has like the bricks, the cutouts like this? And this guy takes his head and he's doing like this, and he goes up the side, comes back. I don't know why. I almost died on that. Let's see. Have you ever heard of a play called The Robber Bridegroom from the 70s? Cindy Bennett? No, I have not heard of that one. Tammy, Knots Landing rocks. I never got the crossover there. Like, just because there was there just one like Ewing cousin 4 times removed or something, and they went and lived on a cul-de-sac, and that's a show that makes. I didn't get that. But Eve says she didn't really get the Monty Python humor. Same with Benny Hill. Yeah, I never really understood that. But like, there's things like Spam-A-Lot. A Fish Called Wanda is sort of that type of humor. I love that movie. With Jamie Lee Curtis, Kevin Kline, John Cleese. That's a funny movie and a fun watch. That's sort of what I like about diamond painting is you always, you want something on in the background, and whether it's TV shows, something current, or older movies, audiobooks for book club. We have a book club, by the way, if anyone likes to listen to books while you diamond paint or you actually read physical books. We have a book club over in Ditsy's Diamond Den Discord. We meet once a month and talk about books, and it's just a fun way to sort of listen to something with purpose as opposed to just listening to the book for sound. So if anyone's interested in that, let me know and we can get you hooked up with that. Melanie says physical comedy, Tim Conway is a genius. 100%, 100 million percent. Him and it was always the best when they would crack each other up on that show. But even, when he went to other shows like Mama's Family, anyone remembers Mama's Family? Thank you, Ditz. Ditzy posted the link to her Discord. If you go there and scroll down, there's a section for the book club. And look in the general book chat. We have the first 3 books of 2025 already picked. And we did that because we wanted to give people notice so they can get books from their libraries or books from the online queues and stuff like that. So we have the first 3 books of the year selected. And the way that we select our books, every month has a theme. And to get to that theme or choose the book for that, I'm using the right now the Amazon bestseller list because it's dynamic and it's a little bit easier to search than like the New York Times bestseller list and stuff like that. So I go to that list and the first 50 books, I spin a wheel and then we pick the book. So we have psychological fiction for January. We have romance for February because Valentine's Day. And then what's the third? I'm trying to think of the third book. I forgot what the theme for that one is. But they also have movie night. Ditzy and Paul host movie night. And we're going to do, I think it's 1 month over the summer. We're going to read a book that's been made into a movie for book club, and then we're going to watch the movie on movie night, and then we can do a comparison. Let's see. How about the Big Bang Theory? Chocolate Diamonds. I think I missed the boat on that show. I don't know why. Not that it's not funny. I see reruns, and it's funny. But I missed the boat on seeing that whole thing. L&L Diamonds, I see you. You're here. Melanie, watch out. There's a Nicholas Sparks. The romance is a Nicholas Sparks. And Melanie is not looking forward to that. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not a romance person. I'm not a Nicholas Sparks person. I spit in the face of love. But we'll get through it. If you want to laugh your tush off, this is Eve. If you want to laugh your tush off on YouTube, look up Mama Family, where Tim Conway, oh my gosh, he tells his elephant story. And Vicki Lawrence just comes right across with a one-liner and just breaks the entire cast down. That is amazing. Let's see. Why are people saying they're not here? The chat's going. It's my first time. Mia, I see you too. Do you ever do sci-fi books? Yes, we do have a sci-fi month. I'll have to pull up, see if I can pull up the listing really quick here of our themes, because like I said, if you guys are interested, it's open to everybody. It's not part of the Patreon or anything. We did just finish, yes, Ditzy, thank you. We did just finish a science fiction-ish dystopian. Actually, we're finishing up a series. That's the other thing, is sometimes if we read a book and it's part of a series, I'm not going to find that. If we read it and we want to continue on with the series, then we'll read a new book, but we'll also read the second one and then combine the meetings going forward. So if you like to read, it's good. The Perfect Child is January book. I've heard good things, but then scary things about it. Not scary like it's a bad book, but it's like an intense book. And I was just listening to some of it this morning. The Spare by Prince Harry. I would like to read that. I'm low-key obsessed with the royal family for sure. I would definitely read that. Definitely add All the Colors of the Dark if there's an open slot. I'll have to see if it comes up on. We were doing books that people suggested, whether or not they read it or they heard about it, whatnot. And what we kept coming across was, and I say that like we've been doing Book Timer for 20 years, but what we were coming across was people already read it, or they read it and they didn't like it, and then the person, Tammy, who picked the book, felt bad about picking that book. So sort of we had a little powwow, a little focus group, if you will, with some folks, and we came up with this much more generic, trying to keep it more current, so that we're trying to get books that people haven't read yet, and then of course we're committed to always reading something different that may take us under or outside of our comfort zone. So it's a good time, like I said, if you read and you could fit another one in, absolutely 100%. Um, Come on and join us. Huge fan of Ditzy. He has his own voice channel for all things Rich. No Ditzy's allowed. I do have my own voice channel on her. I appreciate that. I have a voice channel on her Discord, and I don't know what to do with it. I'll maybe have to. I'll maybe have to figure that out someday. If you want, you give me the money to get in. I'll get you into a book club or movie night. Berta, I don't know that I want to be at your book club or your movie night. It's probably a little scary. I don't know what the heck they do up in Alaska with all that lack of sun and stuff like that. Yes, and we did have, like, even if you, let me tell you this, even if you're not like a voracious reader and you're worried that, I can't make the commitment, I don't, like, I sound like I'm getting paid for this book club right now for $49.95, even if you can't commit to finishing a book, come, because we do a wrap up of the book, and there's been a couple times that folks have not gotten all the way through the book, so we talk about it, and I always try and make sure that we take it into real life a little bit. Like this past book, what were they talking about? Like caste systems and stuff like that. There was another one that talked about self-harm a little bit, and I was like, how is this working in real time, in our time, right? So it's a good conversation, reading the book or not. Yeah, Melanie, Tammy's all hurt like she wrote that book. I just like teasing her about it. She suggested a book that she heard was good, and I think one person was able to finish it, and it was just sort of like, but I won't say Tammy picked it either. I never read a book, but oh boy, did I hear about it. Yeah. Melanie, take my money, Rich. Yes, come and we'll just talk about whatever. Diamond painting with Tammy, it wasn't that bad, but it definitely was the best. It was slow, and in my opinion, it was the Encyclopedia of Fairies, Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. It was so overwritten that it would take in a page and a half just for her to cross the room. It's like, come on. It just, it couldn't do that. And when Jaylee Lee conks out on a book or isn't, it's not great. Let's see. Time is a dog. Melody, not sure any book would survive following the bride. I will tell you this: if you want to come into book club, I don't have anything specific. There's no theme specific to it, but we may have something developing that if you want to read smut, a lot of people in the book club are really into smut. And we read a book that was saucy. It was saucy. It was saucy. I was listening to it in the car one day. I was coming back from Milwaukee. I went up there to meet with some of my team, and I almost had to drive into a wall because it just was getting a little, kissy. Okay, fine. We're caressing. We're this, and all of a sudden it took a right hand turn, and I wanted to drive right into a brick wall. I thought, holy crap! Thankfully, I had my windows closed, and it was not bumper to bumper traffic like it would normally be. Eve, one person's smut is another's literature. Yes, you are right, Eve. You are right. Melissa Brooks, I bet the saucy book was Ditsy's. Was it? I forgot who came up with that. Melanie says she kept making sure her headphones were working. It wasn't playing freely in the room. 100%. Brandy, that book was our first book for the book club. I mean, it was book. It was a good book. Ditsy likes the legal thrillers and stuff like that. So I forgot how we got on that. Somebody, and science. Well, in a way, Ditsy, that talked about cross. What's the word? Crossing genes of different species, cross species love, somewhat, maybe. I don't know. I'm not even gonna. I can't even say this one, but I'm gonna make sure that you see this one because it's pretty good. Do I know how to do this? No. Let me get the right one. Quit commenting. That's what Melanie has to say about the saucy, right, Christopher? I'm not saying it. I'm not. Hello. My first live was also my last live. I've been banned because of literature. Yeah, I'm not going there. Retracted. No, that's on video. Yes, Carol. You know, if one thing, if nothing else, what Shay's lives were always good for was the just going completely off the rails. And I'm committed to keep up that tradition because the Diamond Painting community, I mean, we are a bunch of funny biatches that have the weirdest sense of humor. That is the best thing. And if it gets a little saucy, it gets a little saucy. I mean, whatever. So yeah. Carol, I love me some saucy. Okay, Carol. It's been brought in. Let's do that mic drop there. Eve, heartwarming to know that Rich's first live is off the rails in less than 60 minutes. Yes, actually, that's longer than I expected. Well, no, actually, I was nervous, so I was going to be good. But yeah, I'm glad that we're there. Buckle in. We are going four-wheeling. We have the roof off, the doors off. We're going through the water, written splash with everything. Hi, Joe. How are you? Smut is awesome, says Tammy. Nice initiation for Rich's more respectable audience. I hate to tell you, I didn't have that different of an audience. It was you guys. You know, I approach things, my videos a little different, that I maybe come from a more like, what do they call me, professor, like more educational, more, hey, tip and trick and whatever. But it was pretty much the same people. Brandy, I was one of the people to suggest that book. I didn't know it was going to be so saucy. Yeah, it just, yeah. And it was saucy. How can I put this? Do you try something? Let's say you try a sauce, whether it's a barbecue sauce, one of the mother sauces, French mother sauces, whatever. And there's just something that you can't quite put your tongue on. Like, what am I tasting? What is this I'm tasting? That's the type of saucy this book was. You were not expecting that ingredient. It showed up. So yeah, it was. I mean, it's not a bad book. I don't think it's a sequel, but I know that author has a second book. I wonder if it has anything to do with the vampires and werewolves that were in this book. Let's see. Either Lee or me are the culprits this week, says Eve. There's always next week and the week after, if I don't get banned. Melanie, it's monster smut. Whole new meaning to the monster mash, for sure. Which book is saucy? I'm lost. Bride. Yes, Bride. That was well, Tammy, if you've ever read one of our book club books, you would know what we were talking about. Don't say tongue. It was pump smut. It was so bad. It was so bad that it was good. Lee, Put your tongue on it? Huh? Artemis, the book is called Bride. The book is called Bride by Ali, A-L-I Hazelwood. It's #1 New York Times best-selling author of Love Theoretically. The review that's on the front cover: passionate and witty and primal in its intensity. That sums it up all right there. This is the first book that I've read in a while that it actually made me laugh out loud as I was reading it. What were they tasting in that book? You don't want to know, Tracy. Yeah, Monster and Mash. Tentacle porn. No, I've always is that in manga? I always wanted to know what that was. Like, is it the obvious thing that I'm thinking of? Here we are. Hi, 62 minutes. Tentacle porn. Mark it down. I have to look that up, because if it's what I think it is, that's interesting. I want to know more about that, because I don't know why. Jay Lily, I'm tongue-tied. That's awesome. Melanie says she has a bunch of smut books, but not monster smut. Are you talking about this author, or are you referring to someone? Anime or manga? I'll have to check into that. Basically, it's what you're thinking, as far as I know. Okay. That's interesting, because tentacles are very, and then they have the suckers. I don't know. Berta, Tammy, you stopped jabbering long enough to read? No, she really doesn't. Perfect Child is a psychological thriller, and give it a go. It is. It's a psychological thriller, psychological fiction. Trigger warnings on child abuse, neglect. What else? Ditz gave a nice little summary of some of the trigger warnings. There was one of our last books that, and fully respect boundaries and stuff like that. That if you have things that you don't, you're not comfortable reading about, just skip the book and come get us the next time, or come talk about it. Like the last time, someone had some objection to one of the books that we're reading, and I made the point, I wanted to make sure that they were at the book club, because I wanted to hear their perspective. And I think that's a lot of what we try to do in book club, is to understand how this book, how the book survives in today's world, right? Brandy says, I don't read those type of books, but I'm up for it. Give it a try. Worst thing is you set it aside, and it's definitely cheaper than setting aside a diamond painting, right? Tracy, read the smut book with Chad. There is probably a book there that has to do with inflation, inflating someone and deflating and inflating again. Who knows? This went a lot better than I expected. I certainly did not expect 45 people here, and I certainly didn't expect to go an hour and 4. But I do, blowing up. Never horse whisperer, old yeller. No, Grams, no. She says, never horse whisperer, old yeller, or where the red fern grows. And you are 100% right. Red Fern Grows, Where the Red Fern Grows, used to be my favorite book when I was a kid. 5th or 6th grade, someone read it in the classroom. And I think I stole the copy from the classroom library. I used to read it all the time. Ever since I had a dog, I cannot read that book. It is a beautiful, beautiful book, though, but I cannot read that. thank you all for coming. Please spread the word. This would be great to corrupt others. Let's make that everyone make that your goal for this week is to bring others into this world of smut and corruption and tentacle porn. And make sure that they know that to come with a little bevy in hand, and let's sit down and let's enjoy a little bit of our Sunday afternoon. And for those of you who, like me, have those Sunday scaries right now, I really could care less about working tomorrow. I'm over it, and I'm going to sit here and I'm going to get back to work on my diamond painting and have a good rest of the evening. But yes, please make sure hit the like button on your way out. Please subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell to get notified of new videos. I'm trying to put up at least one video a week. Whip and chats a lot, but I do a lot of tips and tricks and things that I've purchased and like little mini reviews within that. I probably should start doing like standalone reviews and stuff like that. But what the whole point of me starting a channel was, I love the diamond painting community. And I want to help everyone enjoy diamond painting more, differently, what have you. So that's really sort of the themes of my videos. But I'm always up for a good time here on Sundays in the honor of Shay, Sunday Funday. Yeah, I hope to see y'all next week. And check out my videos, comment on those videos. Like I said, I'm a new channel, so I'm looking for thoughts and ideas and suggestions. Please share those. And, Grams is going off to get the perfect child. Go get it. It's so far it's pretty good. I haven't gotten through it much, but it's setting up to be a really interesting story. So thank you, everybody. Have a great week. Remember, there is no wrong way to diamond paint. There is no wrong way to live your life, to be honest. So you do you and keep being you, because that is what makes you special. Thanks, everybody, and I'll hopefully see you next week. Bye-bye.